The meeting will please come to order. Hello, everyone. My name is Trippy Congo, President of Wilmington City Council, and on behalf of all of my colleagues on council, we'd just like to thank you for joining us this evening, if you are virtual or here in council chambers. Today is Thursday, March 21st. At this time, we will have our opening prayer by Akira Granado.
Heavenly Father, we have assembled to handle the affairs of our city. As we do so, we ask for your guidance and understanding. We pray that our city reaches a place of peace and safety. Keep us out of harm's way and bless those who are in authority. Let respect be key in all our endeavors. Amen.
Amen. At this time, we will recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Civil liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman White,
Present.
Councilwoman Darby, Councilwoman Oliver, Councilwoman Harley,
Present.
Councilwoman Fields,
Present.
Councilwoman McCoy,
Here.
Councilman Johnson,
Here.
Councilman Field,
Present.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
Present.
Councilman Mills,
Present.
Councilman Spadola,
Present.
Councilwoman Bracy,
Present.
President Congo.
Here.
11 present and 2 absent.
Thank you. Councilmember Oliver did ask to be excused.
And at this time, Mr. President, I move council suspend the rules for the purpose of the mayor to present his budget address.
Second.
Just before that, I do want to acknowledge former Councilman Bud Friel, who is in council chambers with us. And also our city treasurer, Dwayne Sims. Okay, Councilman Johnson.
All right. At this time, Mr. President, I move that council suspend the rules for the purposes of the mayor to present his budget address.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to suspend the rules for the purpose of the mayor to present his budget address. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried. At this time, I would like to assign council members Harley and Johnson to escort Mayor Michael S. Przicki and First Lady Mrs. Betty Przicki into council chambers. I would also like to acknowledge Mayor Przicki and Mrs. Betty Przicki's son, Mick Przicki, who was also in attendance this evening in council chambers. Before Mayor Przicki delivers his State of the City address and budget presentation, he has a video presentation that he would like us all to watch.
We built it with civic pride and remain proud of its dignity and friendly, tolerable character. We feel safe and are very proud of our municipal government. The fathers and mothers in our hometown are just plain, nice living folks, the kind you read about in storybooks. Main Street folks who say, hello, nice morning, even when it rains on Mondays. You see, we really are the folks in other nations would like to change places with. These civic-minded familiar faces we all know in my hometown think our town is something to shout about. Don't you? Let's call on some of our business firms and see what they're doing to help make our lives more pleasant.
Good morning, Mayor's Office.
Good evening. I'm Mayor Mike Przicki, and it's been my honor to serve as mayor of this great city for the past 7 years. As I prepare for my 8th and final budget address, I find myself reflecting on the success we've had together. Today, growth is evident in every district, from the downtown and the riverfront to every neighborhood throughout the city. While I'm going to discuss the unprecedented challenges we're going to face in this year's budget, it's important for us to look back and reflect on the progress and the successes we've made together. But instead of merely stating that Wilmington is safer, cleaner, and more economically stable than ever before, we're going to do something a little different. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Money spent in town works for you as well as the community.
Chief,
Mayor,
remember this place?
I do.
In the old days?
I do. It's
Big difference, huh?
big difference. It's come a long way. Just talking earlier to some of my staff and saying how at any given moment out here there'll be 20, 30 people hanging out because of the liquor store and the access
Right across from the school.
right in front of the school. And as you can see now, you know, it's clear. So it's definitely a big improvement, and we've seen that since this was taken care of. So.
Well, we're pretty excited. We have so much going on down here. We've got this whole stretch of Pine Street now. We're going to demolish this entire block and RFP to developers to come out here and build housing. So once again, it gives us a chance to really make this part of the city healthier. Well, you guys have done a great job for us, and tell me a little bit about the crime numbers in the city.
Yeah, overall, so far this year, you know, all our Part 1 crimes are down 8%. Shootings are down 58%. In this particular district here, last year we were down something like 67% in homicides and 45 or 47% in shootings. So it's come a long way, this district.
Well, you know, you have to believe that when the city is clean, neighborhoods are cleaner, safer, more built up, it feels healthier. The crime just doesn't feel comfortable here. It wants to go someplace else. And that's what we've been trying to do, and to some extent. Some success. We're very happy with the results.
Yeah, now it's, and the community itself, it's, you know, they're more open to talk to us now because we're going to community meetings and they're seeing what's happening with the police department and with the city and the area in general. So they're really, you know, working to help us out in reducing some of these crimes that are happening or were happening.
Well, you got a great department, a bunch of great guys. Really appreciate it.
All was on the job to make our town a good place in which to live.
I think East Side was the nerve center, particularly of the black community in this city, for the longest time. So I would say, not only was there a crime, I think that was more normal than what we see today. You know, what we've seen today is really, you know, the decline of industrial classes, the decline of Chrysler and GM and the kind of jobs that provided family incomes for people. We saw here on the east side, work disappeared, and then you start to see this decline. Then we had the 60s and we had riots. So there were a lot of things that went on.
Freddie Mitchell.
Going long, going long.
Brother. How you doing?
How you doing, Kaz?
I always see you. You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing
Thank
fine.
you for giving me these projects that, you know,
No,
help
that's
the
great.
community. The community really likes it, so I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, that's great.
You doing all right, sir? All right, all right.
See you, Freddie.
When does football season come? Not soon enough, right?
For sure. See you.
Take care, brother.
See you. Take care. See, there's a great example. That's Fred Mitchell, former Eagles star, by the way, and he's over here in Wilmington doing rehabs right here in an area that had been neglected forever. And so you take a look here, all you see are properties getting gutted. How you doing? Sure. I'm good. Keep up the good job. I look okay for an old man.
We trying.
Okay, that sounds good. So, you know, you take a look here on Bennett Street, everywhere you look, it's like a beehive. Everywhere you look, there's something going on. They're demoing buildings, they're rehabbing buildings. You can see the construction going on everywhere. And when you got people like Freddie Mitchell from Philadelphia coming in here saying, I think this looks like a great opportunity, it's an affirmation of everything you're trying to do here. So, you know, it's pretty exciting to see the dreams come true. If you spread your money out, you make no impact. Honestly, because sooner or later, what you accomplish will get overrun. Will get overrun by, you know, all the everything that's bad. That usually wins. You know, you gotta give it a fighting chance. You can look over here and you can see every one of these green sewer lines. They're all new houses under construction. So we're gonna have, I think, it looks like 20 houses right here.
More than a valuable asset towards the growth and progress of our community. They can be counted upon to participate in every movement that means progress.
And so this, you know, this whole thing over here, this is the old Riverside. Oh yeah, this was all occupied. I'm gonna guess 600 units back in the old days. And they're all vacant, and they're all gonna come down, and they're all gonna have a rebuild, very much like Monty Village here, or an extension of. So we want to talk about the great things going on in the city, and I don't think there's anything better than this little corner of our city right now, because of all the things, you know, housing, education, helping our kids, business development. Fantastic story happening right here in this community, and just wanted to talk a little bit about it, just describe what we're doing here, right here in the Monty Village.
Yeah, I mean, you were right there at the beginning. We started this work. Actually, you were there before the beginning, right? You went and toured purpose-built communities in Atlanta with Charlie McDowell and Rob Buccini, and came back and said, you know, this is the perfect recipe for a purpose-built community if we could just get our acts together. And so I think I followed a couple years later, came to Kingswood with the attempt to turn Kingswood around, and it's just blossomed into what we see today.
Yeah. Dee, talk about how things have changed.
It has changed drastically.
Yeah.
Originally, I came in 2018, but my family has a history of being here in Riverside. My grandmother was just honored recently this year as being a legendary Riverside mother. She experienced back when like Martin Luther King and everyone was down here, so it was nice to hear that and to see the transition from the project homes to now. It's just amazing. Like you would never.
How'd you describe it before? You said.
Now it's peaceful.
Peaceful. That's right.
It's chaotic.
It wasn't always this. What's going on over there, where everybody makes the money?
You see, Logan just alluded. I actually grew up two blocks from here.
Did you? Oh boy, I'll tell you.
You know, being here wasn't always the best thing for me. Like I saw a lot of trauma. But when I left, I was like, you know, I'm gonna be okay. No, Logan said you should come back, and then, you know, with the city, you actually supported us a great deal moving back here into Riverside, and this right here means everything for us. Me personally, coming from Riverside, but the impact that I can have with everyone that you're seeing right there, that right there means so much. We could train more people. It doesn't matter where you came from.
How about everything over at Eastside?
Eastside is, we're doing well, and so even having an Eastside parent, our community builds our school. And so I think the work that's been taking place with WRK, with Nerded, and with our families is why we're making some changes. And so we've done everything from partnering with private schools to start building our new STEM hub, because we wanted to figure out how can we complement the work that's taking place in our surrounding community. You wouldn't find this other cities that, yeah.
Picking up the phone, talking to them. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Great seeing you all. Right, Dee, you take care. Take your little girl. Make sure she's okay, right? Get that stuff straightened out over there.
I will.
They and their families can be found in its cities, in the great industrial center of Wilmington.
There is no way that I can talk about improvements to the city and our residents without celebrating the achievements of HBCU Week. The impact of this foundation on our children's future is immeasurable. But if we are talking numbers, here are a few that will make your jaw drop.
So the mayor came to me and asked me to coordinate programming for Wilmington's underserved communities. And the first thing I decided to look at was education. As a two-time HBCU alum graduating from Howard University and the University of DC Law School, I wanted nothing more than to show the youth in my community that college is an option and that HBCUs should be considered. So we started with this small college fair-like setting, marketed the opportunity, planning for 200 students to show up, but we actually got 700, and that's when we knew that there was an appetite for an HBCU education here in the city of Wilmington. And since 2017, we've expanded that idea to include a full week-long of activities. We do all the fun things like a concert, comedy show, battle of the bands, panel discussion, a middle school college tour. Stephen A. Smith is our brand ambassador. He comes in town to do a live broadcast of First Take. But the cornerstone event of HBCU Week is our college fair. That's where students can compete for on-the-spot college acceptances and scholarship awards. And since 2017, we've been able to offer more than 8,000 acceptances on the spot at our college fair. And we've raised and awarded more than $87 million in scholarships.
Come here, Corey, talk to me a little bit. So, I love this place.
Yes, sir. As you know, I do.
I know you do. But tell me who comes through here. How many of our kids? We got programs, I know we do all over the building. So.
Right, so you talk about between Titus and you're talking about the great things that Lamar and Adriana do here, the basketball camps, the president events. I guarantee we have anywhere between on a weekly basis, we have anywhere between 1,000 to 3,000 kids come through on a weekly basis. You talk about our volleyball program, which is one of the best in the tri-state area. They practice out of here. Swarm, they practice out of here. This is their home. So for a lot of different entities and different youth organizations around the city, this is home for them.
It's fantastic.
As it is for the Blue Coats.
Yeah, for sure. And the community loves the Blue Coats. But what else this place does for our community is really pretty basic. Even going outside on the fields out there, they're busy all the time, and it's a good, healthy environment that, frankly, we took for granted growing up. But today, it's not the truth. I mean, not everybody does that.
And we always talked about an outlet, and the outlet is here, right? You created a venue that's accessible to everyone, right? We're talking about inclusion. We're talking about diversity. We talk about different options. So it's a beautiful, it's a sports hall, like a banquet hall for sports, so to speak.
You're gonna make the cut with that one. Thank you, Jim.
Yes.
I appreciate you very much.
Well, thank you.
For me, you son of a gun.
Baby spit.
Now, I bet you didn't know about this hidden gem in the middle of our city. Located out on the 7th Street Peninsula, this is a 21,000 square foot soundstage where some of the biggest acts in America come to practice. It's a fantastic contributor to our corporate community and to our arts community.
Sparkling waters and placid streams under peaceful skies.
Now, look at this. This is so fantastic because the river, what was really the west side of the river was developing fast, and the east side really was just completely unconnected, and there was no easy way to get over there. So working with DelDOT, we had this fantastic bridge built, and it was named after a fantastic senator who was just a big advocate not only for the city but for the riverfront as well. And so You know, the Margaret Rose Henry Bridge is an icon now. You go that way and you take a look at at our wildlife refuge back there. It's so beautiful. It is such a magnificent place. And it was 1996 when I came on board, and it was 1998 when it became looking the way it is now. Stadium was 2 years before that, and the stadium was down here all by itself. Because this is a very healthy crowd, you know, healthy looking, diverse crowd down here. You go down here, you realize it is really for everybody. But honestly, the riverfront and the construction that we've done downtown and the construction that we do throughout the city, even some of these big projects, they really pay the bills. And if you don't have them, you know, the city, like cities everywhere, they just go into a kind of a doom loop, a death spiral, because if you want to have money to go into the neighborhoods and help the people who need help, well, that money's got to come from somewhere.
Portion of taxes which the city uses to provide the various services which all citizens enjoy.
So I have to tell you, this is one of my favorite places in the entire city because it represented everything we were trying to do. When we got here, this field, as you remember, was a big mud hole. People couldn't use it, you know, it was just, but it was also, to me, it symbolized the way we felt about a lot of our neighborhoods. Like, who cares? That's good enough for those kids. Well, no, that's not good enough for our kids. So, you know, we spent a lot of money here. This is a couple of $1 million, as you know, for this. Then we did all the bleachers over. We did the swimming facility over, the pavilion over. And it's a place that people can be proud of. And so the kids come here, you know, they're like, hey, I'm as good as anybody. Look what they did for me. But how the field's used well?
Field is more than used, adults and children. I think what's important is that this feels special to them. And so they have a moment when they're on this field to say, I am special, I feel special. This is what the big guys play on.
That's right.
So you nailed it with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of our attitude, our philosophy about this is that kids internalize, you know, how people regard them. Either they're treated poorly or they're treated well. And so here, I think we've told them what the real answer is. You're being treated well. But it really is happening across the city. I think we have about $14 million in all of our parks.
It's important that we're making that investment to have the next generation of lifeguards. So thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a lot we can be proud of, but it follows the philosophy of just building the community. Everybody says we have to reduce crime. Well, you can't reduce crime if you don't build a foundation. I always remember Bob Tracy when we talked about when he was leaving. He said, Mayor, Bill Bratton said, there's never a good time to leave, but there's a right time. And I think that's pretty good advice. Never a good time, but there's a right time. Look how beautiful this is.
There's a lot going on. I mean, and this is just one example.
But this is a great one.
This is a great example.
So how many people come to these?
We had last year, with a very abbreviated season, we had over almost 2,500 people. Yeah. I mean, just with a very abbreviated season. And that was without the benefit of having, you know, even a little bit. Yeah, I mean, we had like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, but they were great. Those little concerts were so fantastic, you know. Yeah. We got down there, it was wonderful. And then you've got the stables, which they play their own role.
Absolutely, absolutely. Once we converted the stables into art spaces, you know, that's when the transformation really started.
Yeah, look at this is so beautiful. I mean, we're so proud of it.
Yeah, this is a great.
Now we got Clifford Brown right behind it, so we'll.
Right,
another nice. The whole point of our doing this exercise is that we know that people don't understand how many beautiful assets we have in our city.
It's just an example of the various things that we've done in many neighborhoods.
I agree. I mean,
especially the green spaces, you know, the investments, energy and imagination. So yeah, the Urban Artists Exchange is, of course, going to be at the top of my list.
Things change so much, we tend to forget just what it was like. But when you drive up 4th all of a sudden you see an apartment house going up on the corner where there used to be an old building that was half falling down. You just keep driving up and it's, Farmer and the Cow, a great place. Right across the street, you got the Cooper, a beautiful building. And then out of nowhere, Huxley and Hero shows up, this bookstore, Lafayette and Merchant Bar. I think they both showed up just about the time when we came in office. But then, look what's happened to the Queen. What a beautiful transformation of what was just look over here. What a surprise. The coin is just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful addition to the city, 25 room. Yeah, DCAD's, I think they're starting to really rally. I think they're gonna come back strong. And over here on the right, we've got, Bardea and Bardea Steak, 2 award-winning. Then as we go up the street, a Starbucks, Stitch House on the left, Wilma's on the right, and the new kind of stuff that's so great, like Maker's Alley. Boy, and then, real exciting to everybody, we got the new location of Oath 84. So Deco, Chancery, LeCave Street. And here's at Rodney Square, it really is such an important part of our downtown. It's the center square for the entire city. And it was just crumbling. It was just in terrible shape. And we've restored everything. We've planted new trees. We built that beautiful fountain that the kids come and play in. And adjacent to Rodney Square is the iconic Hotel DuPont and beautiful restaurant inside, Le Cave. Justin, oh no, you can't do that.
That's some lamb chops, gotta have them.
Come on, sit down and join it. Come on down.
Really good to see you, man. Thank you for this.
Oh, absolutely.
Crazy. No. Betty said she's bringing dinner home.
Oh, yeah, you got some more. Got some more.
Forget dinner.
Got some more. How you doing?
I'm good.
Tired? Running around all day?
We had a great day. We kind of knew everything we were going to see.
Okay.
But even though we knew, we were really blown away by so much of what we saw all day long. And it's just a great story of a city that's doing so well.
Absolutely.
And so this is a big one, and we're really excited about Oath 84 2.0.
2.0. I'm excited as well, and thank you. It's a lot of love in the city, like you said. Just moving around, walking up and down the streets. It's everybody's happy. Outside of your office, like people are actually like happy, and I'm happy to be a part of it. So much that like.
But you got a really nice crowd.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, we do. And it's diverse. And not even diverse in color. Diverse in like people of different backgrounds and what they do. Like everybody coming here, it's like more like a network type of thing. So come in here, you're not just walking in and just like getting food. Like you're meeting somebody that's doing something and making connections. Like you can ask Greg every time you walk in.
Oh, good. Place feels.
And it's like this at night. It's like this the same thing at night.
No, it's all good. I thank y'all for everything y'all do for Oath 84. We really appreciate it. We have nothing but love and appreciation for y'all. So good to see you at the next spot. Cheers.
Delaware's proudest boast is its people, the men and women who are proud to work and live in the Diamond State.
Well, I hope this video reminds you just how much change has come to Wilmington in the past 7 years. Yet there is still so much more to do. To keep the momentum in the city going and to set up the next administration for a smooth transition, we need a fair and responsible budget for our upcoming fiscal year. Working together as we have, I know we can continue to move this city forward. Thank you for watching, and now join me for my live budget address.
Thank you, Mayor Prizicki. You may now come forward to present your budget address.
Thank you, Mr. President. Are you tired of me yet? I want to say a few things. One, I want to say how grateful I am that Betty and Mick could be here and other members of my family. It's important. I really want to tell you how much work went into that, and Jet Phoenix is here. Jet, where are you? Back there. Did he and his team? Osberg. You know, I thought that was so creative, and you know, the old time stuff. That was a movie about Wilmington in 1952 or 54. Where'd they get this thing? You know, but it was great. It was really, really wonderful, and I really enjoyed making it. So, Mr. President, members of council, ladies and gentlemen, friends, so many good friends here. If I were running for re-election, and that ain't happening, that is exactly the kind of campaign video I would have run on. When I've run in the past, I always tell my audience, when they tell you what they're going to do, as they always do, ask them what they've done. That's right. And together tonight demonstrated how much we've done together and how much we can be proud of. To frame my comments properly tonight, let me say emphatically that the state of the city has never been better. To say that Wilmington has simply improved during the time that this administration has been in office would be a gross understatement. If we have a philosophy of governance, it is this. First, be aspirational. Reach for the stars. Don't fall prey to a cramped imagination. Don't play defense. Keep building Wilmington as a vibrant, prosperous, and just city where all of its residents are participants and not spectators. Second, invest, invest, and invest. Our administration has paved more than 40 miles of roads and sidewalks, made $25 million in parks improvements, including Rodney Square and now a new park underway at the site of the Rodney Reservoir, and has spent almost $30 million to build a wetlands park that protects the community of Southbridge from periodic flooding. Governor Carney has invested in our schools and our children's education. The governor championed the transformation of the Bancroft Middle School into the new $100 million Maurice Pritchett Academy. Without investments like these, cities inexorably crumble and decay. Third, I would say always put your best foot forward. Clean your streets, as we do with our clean teams every single morning of the week. Remove graffiti. I drive up to Philadelphia fairly often. My son lives up there, and I'm stunned by the graffiti everywhere. And so we've got guys that get out there right away and take the graffiti off the walls. Fill your potholes and welcome those people who want to invest in Wilmington. And last, commit to making tough financial decisions, not just decisions that appeal to the crowds. We will discuss one such tough decision tonight. The sure sign of a healthy city is its economic development. Wilmington has issued almost $2 billion in building permits since 2017. That's $250 million plus every single year. In our neighborhoods, the downtown, and the riverfront. And lest anyone forget, this economic activity is the lifeblood of the city because it pays the bills. There have been thousands of market rate apartments built throughout the city, including the Press, Cooper, River's Edge, Crosby Hill, the Falls, 2000 Pennsylvania Avenue, and Luxor, just to name some of them built in recent years. At a time when working from home threatens our largest revenue source, our wage tax, new apartments have played a critically important role in mitigating these losses. And at the same time, we are building new or have rehabbed in excess of 1,500 affordable units during our term in office. It's important to note that minority contractors are getting most, if not virtually all, of the redevelopment work. Speaking of paying the bills, let me say a word about our fiscal management. The city's unassigned fund balance today is $95 million. That is $61 million more than it was in 2017. We have $70 million of it in cash. We're in great shape financially thanks to a great job by the Budget Office Robs, Greco and Winkler, and Finance Director Brett Taylor. Well deserved. The Wilmington Police Department is among the best anywhere in the country. Our homicide rate has dropped dramatically, not just from 2021, during the height of the pandemic when all the rates were very, very high, but from 28 murders in 2016 before we got here to 14 last year. A 50% drop in homicides from before we got here. In the current ComStat report, homicides are down another 25%. We are aware of a national pattern of reduced violent crime, but Wilmington's performance far outpaces the national average of 13% in reduced homicides. That's the great work done by our police department and our chief, who's not with us tonight. To enhance public safety and encourage the community's involvement in reducing crimes, Chief Campos and his police leadership team have created a community engagement unit that is being welcomed warmly to neighborhood meetings and gatherings large and small. This unit provides timely information to residents and tackles community issues before they become larger. These trained officers have fully embraced their roles and are in a better position now to anticipate crime-related problems before they occur. The chief and his team also know that policing is much more than making an arrest. Sometimes residents exhibit mental health-related problems that cause them to act out. Congratulations to the police department for starting the Partners in Care program, a partnership with Christiana Care that provides an alternative for our police officers so they can respond more effectively with trained mental health professionals when city residents need assistance. To further give our officers tools to solve crime, we've installed the first of 48 license plate readers throughout the city, and we will continue building our security camera system throughout the city. We have instituted OpenGov, Ptolemy, and the 311 Customer Service Center to promote efficiency, transparency, and accountability in government. We've reduced the cost of parking fees, thank you, Councilmember Cabrera, for working with us on this initiative. As you saw, Amani Village, an exquisite place, by the way, was recently awarded, was recipient of a $50 million federal grant that will expand this model community and transform the old Riverside neighborhood into a Wilmington neighborhood of tomorrow. I am proud to have traveled to Atlanta in 2014 before I became mayor to witness how a purpose-built community could change our city. Keeping pace with what has become the Reach Riverside Standard of Excellence, nearby Eastside Charter has a $20 million STEM wing under construction. To help existing homeowners, up to 170 of our neighbors are receiving as much as $10,000 each to provide new roofs, windows, doors, and heating and air conditioning. On Tuesday, just passed, President of Council and I selected the latest 88 applicants to receive a grant to repair their homes. The administration dedicated $20 million to the rehabilitation and new home construction on the east side and some on the west side, thanks to the great job of the land bank, spearheaded by former superstar Bud Friel, who's back here. And in our budget, we have $1 million dedicated to the land bank for all the great work they do. This Our downtown has changed dramatically with new hotels, restaurants, and many new places to socialize. As I said in the video, everything you saw, Deco, Chancery, Coin, Le Cave, all those things that we talked about, they weren't there I say 7 years, it was probably 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, so much of that just wasn't there. That's how much our downtown has been transformed. Now, I don't think it's fair that city government and the mayor should be standing up here taking credit for everything that has transpired over the past 7 years. In addition to private sector investors and developers, our city has many partners who have helped us to be successful. Thank you, members of the Delaware General Assembly, DelDOT, and DENREC. Thanks also to the many law enforcement agencies that partner regularly with our police department. You deserve credit for what's happening in Wilmington, and you have our thanks. But it is undeniable that this government created the pro-development environment where growth could take root, where developers and investors could have confidence in stable and responsible governance. We built a foundation and strategically created financial incentives for developers, including minority business owners, so they could prosper and grow here in our city. Now, in response to an impending budgetary crunch, the administration successfully lobbied the state for an increase in the limited partnership filing fee revenue of $5.8 million annually, so they could. But in no time at all, we were confronted with an unexpected financial headwind. So let me give you a word about those headwinds. After decades of having EMS service, emergency management service, supplied without cost to the city by St. Francis, our good friends at Trinity Health advised us end of last year that they could no longer afford to provide this free service. And so we have had to absorb a $4.5 million unanticipated cost to this year's budget. And looking down the road, we can anticipate labor costs rising at a much higher than normal rate. We find ourselves losing employees to other municipalities who are facing the same challenges as we are and are willing to pay more for experienced workers. Given these increased labor costs looming in the future, we have chosen to offset anticipated cost increases by reducing 13 currently vacant positions now rather than leaving this unpleasant business to my successor. Among our greatest challenges continues to be our ability to recruit hard-to-fill positions. For example, we still have no urban forest administrator, but there's no shortage of complaints about dead and overgrown trees. Our police recruiting class looks to be as small as last year's and likely will not offset our projected retirements and resignations. By the way, it is my pleasure to announce that the FOP rank and file ratified a new 2-year labor agreement, so that's something So which brings me to a sore subject. I know people felt strongly about residency, we did as well, but the proof is in the eating. Today we have as many vacancies in key positions as ever before. Yes, I understand that this is a national problem, but please someone then explain to me why adding an additional barrier to hiding, such as residency, makes any sense whatsoever in the current environment. This hiring issue is not theoretical. We have a real world problem. This year, we may be forced to hire 41 EMTs to join our city workforce. If we can find them, does anybody really believe in this job market that we are going to get many of these people to pick up and move to Wilmington? And if we make exceptions for EMTs, what do we say to the other unions? This is a problem for us, and we need council to help us solve it. We just have to work together to solve it because it's real world. The good news for us is that this year we will not be asking for any increase, which we've only done twice in 8 years. 8 budgets, only 2 property tax increases. There's an ample surplus this year. If we manage to spend responsibly as we've been doing, we ought to leave our successor the ability to balance another budget without a tax increase. In the following year, however, there are significant challenges which will necessitate increasing revenues. The only place this year where we must raise rates is in our sewer and water fund. Following the advice of UCAB, Citizens Advisory Board, we are recommending raising water rates by 9%, which is, of course, a significant increase. Ironically, this comes at a time when Council is discussing limiting our finance department's ability to enforce collections of outstanding bills through water shutoffs and ultimately taking properties to sheriff's sale to collect outstanding debts. After reviewing the financial projections, it was clear that without this increase, we would not raise enough revenue to even pay debt service for this year without accessing our water fund cash reserves. And it is also important to have perspective on these issues. First, water rates for Wilmington citizens are the lowest in the region. Our competitors are all asking the PUC for double-digit increases, such as 24% hike by Artesian and 19% by Veolia. There are demands being made on our water utility, like reducing PFAs, that will require rate increases throughout the industry. In addition, any reduction in our ability to enforce collection will only result in less revenue, thereby threatening the quality of our water, or most certainly it will shift costs to other customers. Someone has to pay for the water, and it's better if everyone pays. I understand the motivation for thinking otherwise, but council should understand the implication of any such action. Our stormwater rate will rise by 6%. This increase is tied to our collective decision over many years to protect our infrastructure and create green infrastructure projects, such as award-winning Southbridge Wilmington Wetlands Park. The stormwater fee helps to keep our three rivers clean and mitigate flooding in critical low-lying areas of our city. We also have to continue focusing on engineering solutions for future storms, which have become larger and more destructive over the last decade. So let me leave you with this message. Our economy is strong, and trust me, there is more to come. Crime is down dramatically. Our finances are excellent. Our infrastructure is vastly improved, although century-old structures will always present a challenge. Our public places are more beautiful than ever, and the schools where our children learn are improving every day. Wilmington is a city where more and more people are coming to live, work, raise families, or retire. We have so much to be proud of. In the end, I honestly don't know how much more we could reasonably have done during our time here. How about this? I get slightly emotional saying, I will be gone after this year. Many of you will still be here. The administration of this council has set an enviable record, and it is up to future city officials to continue to build on our success. I'm very proud and honored to have served for nearly 7.5 years with a remarkable group of government administrators. More than that, they are people who care deeply, as I do, about the city and its people. I previously mentioned Chief Campos, Director Taylor, and Budget Director Greco in tonight's address. Now I would ask my department directors to please stand and be recognized. The rest of our senior management team includes Fire Chief Looney, Solicitor Bob Goff, HR Director Charlotte Barnes, Economic Director Sean Park, and Recreation Director Ian Smith, Cultural Affairs Director Tina Betts, IT Director Damon May, Emergency Management Director Willie Patrick, L&I Director Mike Boykin, Public Works Director Kelly Williams, Land Use and Planning Superstar Jeff Starkey, and Real Estate Housing Director Bob Weir. Also, many thanks to City Treasurer Dwayne Sims, City Auditor Terrence Williams, Deputy Chief of Staff Stephanie Mergler, and special hats off to my superstar Deputy Chief of Staff John Rago. John, you're a stud. And now a special thank you to Tanny Washington, my Chief of Staff. This may be the second time I get choked up. I'm trying, Trip. I'm trying.
Go ahead and let it out. Let it out.
You are a rock, Tanny, and an outstanding public servant who has kept the interest of our city in your heart for over 30 years. We all owe you our gratitude, and please know that you have Our deepest affection. As I close tonight, and thank you, Sarah. Where's Sarah? Had this whole thing on her back. As I close tonight, thank you, City Council, for your consideration of this budget proposal. It's not always easy to see eye to eye on everything, and I know that, but we've really accomplished some great things together, and for that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, I move council return to the regular order of business.
So move. Second.
It's been properly moved and second that council return to the regular order of business. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. At this time, we will have the reading of the minutes from our previous meeting.
March 7, 2024, City Council met on regular session with remote participation on the above date at 6:30 p.m. President Ernest M. Congo II presiding. The opening prayer was done by Akira Granardo, Deputy City Clerk. The Pledge of Allegiance was recited by City Council. The following members responded to the call of the roll.
Mr. President, I move the minutes be accepted as written.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that the minutes be accepted as written. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I'd also like to recognize Councilmember Sinead Darby. At this time, we will have our city treasurer's report.
March 21st, 2024. Total investment, $500,714,725.51. Total cash on hand, $13,078,807.38. Grand total, $513,793,532.89. Submitted by Dwayne Sims, City Treasurer.
Mr. President, I move the treasurer's report be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second the report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. At this time, we will go to public comment. As a friendly reminder, there is a Google Form sign-up link in the chat for anyone who would like to give public comment. Your time limit is 3 minutes. We will give you a friendly reminder when you have around 30 seconds left. As you come forward, please watch your step, and please remember to introduce yourselves. First, we have Deacon Earl Tate. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Tate. Please remember to introduce yourself.
Greetings. My name is Deacon Earl E. Tate, who's never late because he don't want to lose his pair of roller skates. I'm going to bring you back to the past when we had the police, the patrol area of the town, not only downtown, but all over the town, east side, west side, north side, south side, patrolling the streets by foot, walking, and you got to know who the policeman was. You got to know them by name. The kids and all knew them by name. They was much more friendlier and everything. But where have they gone? What happened to them? Because we still need them. We still need them around the neighborhoods, around the areas. Because when they was around the areas, the neighborhoods and all was much better than now. Why can't we bring them back like they used to be? Because if we don't, we're gonna lose a lot more. So I'm telling you, bring back the policemen on foot all over the city, so that the people could know who their policemen are. And I like to finish it with one of my poems about running wild. As the kids come and go, as they continue to live and grow, where are they going now? They have no training, no rules to follow. They have no leader to be like. They have no one to really teach them about life. Music, what is it? They try to rap, but all that they're doing is talking loud and saying nothing. The rules of taking away the rights of the discipline from the parents, and their hands are tied behind them when it comes time to correcting a child. The children are running wild, talking back to their parents, and disrespecting other adults, staying out late at night, growing up too fast, calling the cops on their parents, stealing cars, shooting guns, having babies, and kids killing kids, and so on. What can we do? How can we stop what's happening? Take back your rights as adults. Stop the madness before it gets out of hand and out of control. Stop running wild. Stop running wild. That's what I say. We got to take back the responsibility of raising the kids instead of having the kids raise themselves.
Thank you. Is Devon Hall present? Next we will have Siam.
Yeah, he's on
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hall.
I appreciate you guys for allowing me to speak tonight. This is Devon Marquis Hall, D. Marquis Hall, with a important message from the community that I believe you all should serve and appreciate, love, and do everything that you can to provide safety and protection for, even if the state fails, especially if the state fails to do that. And I sent an email out to the city council president and to council that you should have all received. And I want to just read, now I'm going to try to catch up on time. Dear Wilmington City Council President Ernest Trippy Congo II, council members and council staff, I am writing to request a public discussion between DNREC Secretary Sean Garvin, Naramco COO Lee Karras, and the community about 7 Delaware Admin Code 1102 natural minor permit application for Naramco Inc. to install a new vacuum pump and manufacture 2 new products at their 500 Swedes Landing Road location in City Council District 4. I think it's important for me to mention, this isn't in the letter, but cannabinoids are not, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but cannabinoids are not the plant that grows from the ground. They're not cannabis. They're artificial pills that are made with chemicals that kill, with carcinogens. These pills are dangerous. They should not be manufactured around where people live. This permit is not a minor ask, and it comes with a very disastrous consequence which we must consider prior to a horrific accident. This facility is headquartered on Wilmington's east side, and Naramco is a mass producer of controlled substances. It sells Schedule 1 and 2 narcotics and opioids like Percocet to the pharmaceutical industry. It makes the active ingredients. So basically, they cook up the powder that becomes the pill that kills. One of the chemicals that Naramco is seeking to emit is called methylene chloride, and several other cancer and respiratory damaging chemicals to make artificial cannabinoids and painkillers. As I said, cannabinoids are not naturally growing plants. They are artificial drugs made from cancerous chemicals that pollute the environment where they are manufactured. What happens to the waste separated by the vacuum pump? Where does that go? Do they bury it? Do they put it in the water? Where does it go? In August, DNREC proposed a notice that the drug companies submitted the permit application to install a new vacuum pump and add a new production line for the manufacturing of these 2 new products. That vacuum pump isn't going to completely eliminate all the harmful chemicals. It's going to mitigate it. And what happens when that vacuum pump malfunctions or the electric goes out? These are things to consider. And 357 people from the community signed a petition to say that they don't agree with it, including 4th District Councilwoman Michelle Harley and 3rd District Councilwoman Xanthia Oliver. And I think Council President Trippy Congo, I think you signed it too. So this is something that we gotta try to reverse. We gotta get DNREC to walk back this. So I'm hoping that we can bring the secretary here so that the community can address him in a public forum where they can actually come and speak and hear him say why he would sign off on something like this. And you can sign the petition, and I can give you a copy of this after I'm done. And I'm done. I'm thankful that you guys gave me an extra minute and 20-some seconds. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next we have Sam Schofield.
Hi, my name is Liam Schofield, and just want to piggyback off of what Mr. Hall had said. One of the reasons that I believe in his campaign for governor is because he's an incredible community activist on a grassroots level. He went and researched and helped with all the findings for this whole Naramco thing, brought a lot of things to my attention and to others, and everything that was presented by Mr. Przicki as far as advancements in the city. If something is installed that poisons citizens and makes them sick and then feel further disenfranchised or heighten medical bills and expenses, that is counterproductive. So there's really not too much else I could say to that, except I just want to second on what he said. I don't think that this should be moved forward, and there's plenty of other ways that the city can obviously get revenue because all the recent economic developments in the past 5 years. I wouldn't think there'd be any reason that, you know, this would be significant. Just let it go, let the project go, and without risking citizens being sickened or getting cancer or whatever else could come of that. It's definitely alarming, a lot of statistics and things that he had brought to my attention in the literature. So thank you for everybody's time.
Thank you. WITN, do we have anyone who signed up virtually? Okay, thank you. Well, that does conclude public comment. We want to thank everyone who joined us and came to share your concerns. At this time, we will move to legislative business.
Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for first and second reading.
Second.
Ordinance 24-013, Agenda 0402, an ordinance establishing a rate of taxation on real property and the taxable property of public utilities for the fiscal year beginning on July 1, 2024, ending on June 30th, 2025.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance establishing a rate of taxation on real property and the taxable property of public utilities for the fiscal year beginning on July 1, 2024, ending on June 30th, 2025.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Second. Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Mr. President, I have another ordinance to present and call for first and second reading.
Ordinance 24-014, Agenda 0403, an ordinance to adopt a capital program for the 6 fiscal years 2025 through 2030 inclusive.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to adopt a capital program for the 6 fiscal years 2025 to 2030 inclusive.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading and ordinance and refer it to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
And Mr. President, I have another ordinance to present and call for first and second reading.
Ordinance 24-015, Agenda 0404, an ordinance to adopt a capital budget for the fiscal year 2025.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to adopt a capital budget for fiscal year 2025.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading and ordinance and refer it to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
And Mr. President, I have another ordinance to present and call for first and second reading.
Ordinance 24-016, Agenda 0405, an ordinance adopting the annual operating budget for the fiscal year beginning on July 1, 2024, ending on June 30th, 2025.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance adopting the annual operating budget for the fiscal year beginning on July 1, 2024, ending on June 30th, 2025.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
And Mr. President, lastly, I have an ordinance to present and call for first and second reading.
Ordinance 24-017, Agenda 0406, an ordinance to amend Chapter 45 of the City Code regarding sewer system rating charges, water rates and charges, and stormwater rates and charges for fiscal year 2025.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 45 of the City Code regarding sewer system rates and charges, water rates and charges, and stormwater rates and charges for fiscal year 2025.
Mr. President, I move
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading of ordinance and refer it to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
And that concludes my business tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. At this time, we will move to petitions and communications, starting with Councilmember White.
None at this time, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Darby.
Yes, I just have one announcement. So I am doing a participatory budgeting process for the 2nd District. So if anyone is interested on being a part of the process in regards to selecting ideas to spend $20,000 on my discretionary funds, you can reach out to Wilmington City Council. We can get you connected to the steering committee. We had a few meetings already to come up with a process for idea submission. So you can submit an idea. So if you're like, I don't want to quite serve on a committee, but you have a great idea for the second district, you can visit the Wilmington City Council website, and then in the drop box, you'll see second district participatory budgeting process, and you can go there and you can submit an idea. So this is only for second district residents. Hopefully one day we can have participatory budgeting for the whole city like they do in other cities, where we allow our community to participate and be a part of the process. So that's my only announcement for tonight. If you have any questions, want to be on a steering committee or submit an idea, visit the website and reach out to City Council, and we can get you connected to where you need to be.
Thank you. Councilmember Harley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I would like to just mention that the city of Wilmington is going to be doing a citywide cleanup on April the 20th. It's citywide for all the districts in the city. The reason why I'm sharing it at this time is because some of the civics may meet the end of this month, and it just gives our civic associations more time to organize and plan for the citywide cleanup. It's going to be on Saturday from 9 until 11:30, and I just want to encourage all of our council members to reach out to civic association presidents so they can engage the community. This is an opportunity not only for us to have a cleaner city in terms of all districts, but it allows us to get together, to connect, to engage with our residents, and the city will be offering some supplies for those communities that sign up. Tanya Phillips and Constituent Services is the point of contact for the citywide cleanup, and the city will be supplying gloves, pickers, and trash bags. So I just wanted to get that out early so we can all have an opportunity to participate. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Fields.
Yes, Mr. President. City of Wilmington Mayor Mike Brzezicki and Councilwoman Brigida Fields, 5th District, street renaming ceremony, Mercedes M. Fields Way. It's going to be on Thursday, March the 28th, 2024, at 200 North Madison Street. And it starts at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And there will be refreshments at William Hicks Anderson Community Center following the ceremony. Oh, and you want my quote? Okay.
I want it.
Yeah, you do need it. Okay.
All right.
And my quote for today: believe in yourself. You are braver than you think, more talented than you know, and capable of more than you imagine. Live the life of your dreams. Be brave enough to live the life of your dreams according to your vision and purpose instead of the expectations and opinions of others. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember McCoy.
Thank you. I have two announcements to make. The very first will be the 6th District Town Hall. That is going to take place next Tuesday on March 26th at 6 p.m. The address is 501 South Clayton Street at the Claymore Senior Center. This is probably the third time I've actually done a town hall. We will have our chief of police will be there, and he will give us a presentation or talk about what's going on here within the city. Also, we have Mr. C.R. McLeod, which is part of DelDOT, and all the things that are actually happening within, not just within the 6th District, but the surrounding districts that will be affected, and then also Director Ian Smith from Parks and Recreation. So I do hope that everyone will come out and get a chance to find out what's going on within the 6th District. The second announcement is for the Easter egg hunt. I'm so sorry. So we're having an Easter egg hunt at Kosciuszko's Park. Nickname is Rocky Park, right on the 601 South Broome Street. I've had the Easter egg hunt quite a few years, but MSK is actually taking it over, so that's an easy thing for me. It's an easy lift. So that program is actually taking place, that event taking place, I believe, at 11 o'clock, which is going to be the Saturday right before Easter, March 30th. So I hope everyone will come out and enjoy themselves.
All right. Thank you. Councilmember Johnson.
Good evening, everyone. Just wanted to announce we are in budget season now, as we have heard the mayor's budget address. So now, for those of you who are new to government, what happens, the mayor presents his budget, and then he gives it to council. And then it's our time to have scrutinize the budget, to host public hearings, and to vet where we need to move together as a city. So there is the budget schedule is posted on City Council's website. The first budget hearing is this upcoming Wednesday, March 27th. It's the mayor's office in Wilmington City Council. It begins at 4:30 p.m. and will proceed one after another, and it will be both held in chambers and also will be virtual. And the rest of the budget schedule is on the city's website. So, please pay attention, and we will make further announcements as they go. It's always subject to revisions, but the budget hearing is on the City Council website. We look forward to seeing everyone there and engaged. And please send any suggestions or emails to us at City Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Field.
Yes, I have two announcements. The first is that the second annual Charlie Square 5K will take place on Saturday, April 20th. And this is run by the Charlie Square Running Club, which meets every Wednesday night in front of Catherine Rooney's. And this is to raise money for charity and to just kind of build up the sporting community in and around Charlie Square. And you can find information about this at the Charlie Retro Run Facebook and Instagram. And then second, I want to thank and make an announcement about a new development in the 8th District. The Soldiers and Sailors Monument, which has been at Delaware Avenue and Broome Street for 150 years, is now lit up at night. There's aesthetic uplighting to add some new stature to the monument and illuminate the neighborhood at night. And this is a project of the City Parks Department, and I want to in particular thank Lenny Safran, who we've been working together for about a year on this, and it had to have been done in a very certain specific way to look correct and to look good, and he provided a lot of advice and was extremely helpful on this. And so if you're driving through Charlie Square at night and you notice this, it's a very cool new project. So that's at Soldiers and Sailors Monument, Delaware Avenue and Broome Street. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Cabrera. Councilmember Cabrera, I believe you might be muted.
Okay, all right, I'm ready.
Okay, we can hear you.
Yes, Mr. President, thank you. I have two announcements to make. I'm just very sorry I could not be there in person this evening. I thought the budget address went very well. It was great to see that video of all the wonderful things happening in our city, and we, as council members, should be the biggest cheerleaders. And even though we still have challenges, we can't forget that we are making progress. And I, for one, am very proud of the work that we have all done collectively, this council working with the administration. So I did want to say that. And thank you to the mayor. He knocked it out of the park. I do want to announce that on March 30th, the Roberto Clemente Baseball League is having their Easter egg hunt. They're going to have games, prizes, the golden egg, sack races, music, concession stands are open. It begins at noon. That's when the egg hunt begins. And this is at Woodlawn Park in Wilmington, Delaware. This is supported by the Anti-Opiate and Fentanyl Awareness Initiative from Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long's office. Also want to congratulate the newly formed Delaware Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, which is now located right here in the city of Wilmington in the 5th District at 1801 Lancaster Avenue, right on the corner of Lancaster Avenue and Scott. They had their ribbon cutting on Friday. It was well attended. I mean, there were so many people there and so many different faces. So I'm hoping that folks will join, participate. There will be workshops, education for small businesses to help them either start or grow their businesses, and entrepreneurs. Classes will be available in English and in Spanish. So it's a great way to really be inclusive of our growing Hispanic community and others so that we can network with each other. So that is all I have this evening. Again, sorry that I could not be there in person, but the allergies have taken me down. So I'm just home getting better. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Mills.
Yes, Mr. President. Just two things. First of all, just give a warning to the community that fentanyl-laced marijuana has been found in our city on numerous occasions. We had some incidents this week where some juveniles were arrested with marijuana with fentanyl, and it's to just be safe, to warning to the parents and to community residents. And then also congratulations to Director Smith and Coach Doug over at the Hicks Center for being named the 2023 Gym of the Year by the Mid-Atlantic Association for USA Boxing. Thank you.
I believe that Director Smith is still with us this evening. Thank you, congratulations to you and your team. Councilmember Spadola.
Thank you, Council President. I just ask that we keep the family of former Red Clay School Board member Ashley Sabo in our thoughts. She passed away unexpectedly last Sunday night. She leaves behind 2 young daughters. And the services are this Saturday at Brandywine Valley Church. Visitation starts at 10, services at 12. And there's also a GoFundMe going around to help support the mom as well as the kids. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Bracy.
Nothing tonight.
Thank you. I'd just like to thank everyone who has joined us in council chambers as usual, and those who are watching virtually. We want to continue to ask you to continue to be involved, and especially as we come up on our budget process, try to be as involved and as informed as you can, either in the committees or virtually. If you ever need any guidance, if you have any questions from any of us from City Council, please call us at 302-576-2140. Again, that's 302-576-2140. With that, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.